Hello and welcome, I'm Raziel, and I haven't done a money related video or budget related video for a long time. I like doing them, I really do. I just enjoy it. I enjoy talking about numbers a lot because I like numbers. I read the rules so much that I will just go through the actual numbers so much. I just something I like, okay? And when people talk about value for money armies, I rarely see them talk about how much they can be used and how well they can be used. And these are the 4 armies I think are the best value for money in 40k. Or from Games Workshop as a whole, to be honest with you. And the reason is, I believe value for money is always going to be money divided by time. How much you spent and how much you spent time using it. An example of this, and it's a bit of a personal one, is I got Star Wars Squadrons for my Xbox. I think it cost me like £3. I downloaded it, by the way, so it was stupidly cheap. And I've played it once for like 10 minutes, and I went, you know what, I just had enough of this. The controls are horrible, it's just a horrible game to play. And I know I should give it more time than 10 minutes, but it just annoyed me so much. Whereas Skyrim, I've put over 100 hours in it. I'm not joking, I've put so much time into Skyrim, it's not funny. And I bought that with all the DLC for like £20. And I bought it on many different consoles. I've got it on the PC, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and I got the Xbox Series X version as well. And I put so much time into that, but it's now better value than the less than about £3 game I got of Star Wars Squadrons. Even adding all that up together, I got them all second hand because I'm cheap. But you know, except the PlayStation 4 and this Series X version, I bought them on the console. So yeah, that's how I work out value for money. How much time I'm going to be able to spend using them. Now, painting and building is obviously a major part of this, and I can't, just say no. And I can't see, the weird thing about that is completely subjective to the person. I've spent 15 hours painting an armature lately, and I've enjoyed every minute of it. I really have. But that's just me. Building and painting is enjoyable. Now, another way people do it is points per pound as a value for money. It's a good indicator, it's a good marker to see which way it goes, but it doesn't really equate everything to it. Because an example of this is my Bane Blade. It's decent points per pound value, but I've not used it enough for it to verify it. I really haven't. Whereas, hopefully, I'm doing Imperial Knight army. My Christos Knight being actually part of the army which I'm going to use in a major way is going to get a lot more time used, so it'd be better value for me. Now, one of the things I think really makes an army good value is how many games it can be used in. Games Workshop seems to be wanting to get away from this, which is weird. I think it's a great way to get people to buy models and more models and get people to play more games. But it does seem it's something they're trying to do. Now, the best value for money one for me, I've said that a lot now, is Chaos Demons. I have been in a position where money has been really tight and I could rarely afford to get a Warhammer. So I ended up doing Demons, and this was back in, I think it was like 5th edition. And so Demons got me to use it in both 40k and Fantasy Battles at the time. So I was getting a lot of use out of these because I could use it in both games. If people wanted to play me in Fantasy, I could play in Fantasy. If people wanted me to play in 40k, I could play in 40k. And that's just what makes it fantastic. And the other thing which makes Demons even better is half the rules are free. And so you don't have to buy the rules for Horus Heresy, it's free to download, and you don't have to buy the rules for the Old World, also free to download. Yes, you can't use them in tournaments for those two. Actually, I think you can for Demons. But, no, you can't for the Old World. But you're still going to get a fair whack of value out of them because you're going to be playing with your friends more than you're going to be playing tournaments. And that's what makes demons the best ones, because you can use them in all 4 games. And what makes demons even better value for me is that it's one army, but you can kind of build an army for each game and have them separate, like Nurgle for 40k, Khorne for Horus Heresy, Tzeentch for the Old World, and Slaanesh for the Age of Sigmar. So yeah, it makes this a fantastic value for money army because you can use it in more than one game. You can use it in all 4, and the rules for 2 of those games are free. And they'll be free for pretty much the entire time. The next is the Astra Militarum, or the Imperial Militia for Horus Heresy. Again, you can use this in 2 separate games. And it's fantastic for that again. Well, whereas you can't really do many different armies for different games, you could probably do kind of Krieg or Kata-chan for one and Cadian for the other. But once again, the rules for Horus Heresy are free, so you don't need to buy an extra book for them. And again, it makes great value because you can use them in both games, and that always to me is a fantastic thing. I love doing that. And the next one, I believe it's this one. Yes, it is the Imperial Knights. I know these are meant to be quite expensive. Points per pound wise, they're pretty much on par with Space Marines. Just so you know, these are very good value. These are like 5 points, 5.5 points, 5.5 points per pound. And the Archeon, the Cerastus Archeon, is 3.5 points per pound. So they're about on par with what we pay out for a Space Marine army anyway. So you're paying out the same. And I'm talking about I think it's intercessors here. So you're paying out the same as you would any other army. You've got nice big models here as well, which are going to take you a long time to build and a long time to paint. One armiger has taken me 15 hours to build and paint. Yeah, one of these guys took me 15 hours to build and paint. So, you're going to spend a lot of time building and painting these models as well. And they're going to look cool. They're going to look really cool on a tabletop. But there is the problem with this, and that is that you have to buy the book. The Liber Mechanicum book. This is what makes this number 3 on this list. Because 1, you have to buy the book. But it's also the cheaper book out of the 2. It is £30. Whereas the next one is Adeptus Custodes, and you're going to need the Liber Imperium book, which is £37.50. But you have a lot of choice. You can use it in 2 games. You're paying for the cheaper book. And again, that's what makes it the next best value army. The last one is Adeptus Custodes. This is a good book. Good army. Again, you can use it in Horus Heresy and 40k. You have a lot of choice of models here. Some aren't in Horus Heresy, such as the Virtus Praetors and the Alarus Terminators, which is a shame to be honest with you. But as you can see, many of the Forge World models are, which means again you can use these in both 40k and Horus Heresy. Fantastic. Because this is why I'm on the 40k list, by the way, just so you can see what's on 40k. So most of these can be used in both. So you've got an army for 2 different games again, and they're very easy and fun to paint. They're quick and easy to paint as well. So if time isn't a big thing for you, you don't have enough time to build and paint, but you want to spend more time playing, Custodes would probably be your best bet. Because, like I said, they're simple enough to paint and build, and that adds a bit of extra value for me. And like I said, unfortunately, this is also one of the most expensive books at $37.50. So unfortunately, you are going to need 2 books for this army, like you do with the Knights, but not the Astra Militarum and Imperial Guard and the Demons. Well, you do need 2 books for the Demons, but it's still 50% of what you need for all the games, is what I meant. So there you go. These are my top 4 best value for money armies for 40k. Well, for From Games Workshop. And these are my reasonings. What do you guys think? As always, I'll see you in the next one. And thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye. Oh yeah, links to Wayland Games down below if you wish to save some money on your Warhammer. So if that's another way to get these armies even cheaper, go to Wayland Games. And you'll get 20% off. Even more better value for you guys. And free delivery after £20. And yes, I do use Wayland Games. I would never ever put an affiliate link down there. I would not use myself. And there is also Forbidden Planet for comics, DVDs, mangas, plushies, toys, etc. My merchandise, t-shirts, comics, t-shirts, stickers, all that other stuff, mugs, travel mugs, and my comics as well. I'll see you all in the next one. Have a great day. Bye-bye.